Dude, new gizzard. Who's been listening? Grow Wings and Fly. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Golly, it's so good. The other singles have been good too, but oh man, Grow Wings and Fly. The wait for this album has been agonizing. Forget Switch 2. New gizzard in June. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Okay, but we do have to talk about the Switch 2, though. I'm sorry. So at the Switch 2 Direct, obviously Nintendo announced Switch 2 editions, old games getting really, really big upgrades, but then they had like a list of games that were going to be getting free upgrades, and we kind of assumed that this would be like, you know, the performance patches or whatever, but they didn't exactly outline what free updates meant. I think it was like safe to assume this would be like performance stuff in most cases, not just putting in game share or whatever. Yeah, fortunately they have confirmed that yes, this really does mean performance boosts to some of these old games. And we have details about each individual game now, which is very cool. So I'm here on the Nintendo website and I'm just gonna kind of go down the list and read everything. First up, we have ARMS. Updates included visuals optimized for the Nintendo Switch 2 display and high-resolution TVs for improved image quality, frame rate optimized for Nintendo Switch 2 for smoother movement, even when playing with 3 or more players, HDR support, so perfect, just higher resolution, higher frame rate, even when playing multiplayer. That is very nice. Next is Big Brain Academy. This one does not seem to be getting a visual upgrade, but I don't know. Probably not really that important. I mean, it would have looked like nicer, like games with these kind of like 2D art. It definitely doesn't like need the higher resolution. Would have been nice. This one just has game share support. Up to 4 people can play in party mode, share locally or share online via game chat. So yeah, nothing visual here, but probably not super duper necessary. But then we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. We have visuals optimized for the Nintendo Switch 2 display and high-resolution TVs. Okay, I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to say resolution. Basically, it's getting resolution and HDR support. It doesn't say anything about the frame rate. I want to say that game already had a good frame rate. That Captain Toad already runs at 60 FPS, right? I think so. So that is that's cool. That's a really good-looking game. I really like Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Has such just a really clean, just incredibly clean and charming look. And you know, I suppose it's because you have these very small environments. They're very controlled. There's not too much going on at once. So it's one of those games where it can just, you know, it can just look really, really good. It's already got the look of 3D World. And now you've made it even smaller and more controlled and more clean and everything. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how that looks. And then also game share support. 2 people can play all of the courses, share locally or share online via game chat. That actually is really cool. I mean, you know, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker is like pretty much always, it has been for a long time. Like, I don't want to say like hidden gem. It's a very underrated game. It's a really good game that kind of came and went and we all forget about it, but like it is super good. And I feel like playing handheld and doing game share to play with someone, I don't know. I think it's cool. Maybe this will even drum up some new interest in the game, get people playing it again. Next we have Clubhouse Games, 51 worldwide classics, and this is another case where it's not getting any kind of visual upgrade, which is, again, not super duper disappointing, but I'm gonna say it's a little bit more disappointing in this case. It's a decently visual game. You got a lot of different games represented here. Would have been nice if it was at a higher resolution, but oh well. Instead, it is just game share support. Up to 4 people can play 34 games, not all 51. Maybe that's because only 34 were multiplayer. I have no idea. I never played it. Also, share locally or share online via game chat. Then we have Game Builder Garage, and this one is getting upgraded visuals, which is nice. You know, there's a lot more like 3D stuff in the game. And then supports Joy-Con 2 mouse controls. So that's cool. That's awesome. Perfect. And I like this. I mean, like, sure, there's kind of the disappointment that Nintendo has only announced kind of a small handful of games. They're getting these free updates. We really do just have to hope. We really just have to hope that they keep, like, rolling them out to other games. But at least for the time being, I like the spread here. I like that each game is getting its, you know, it's not just like a across-the-board performance boost thing. You know, they're giving each game pretty much what it needs in particular. And in Game Builder Garage's case, that wasn't just visuals. It's, of course, mouse controls. I mean, touch was probably fine, but I can imagine that making little games using the mouse is probably going to be the best method. That's cool. Then we have New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. It just says visuals. That's really it. And I think the frame rate was already plenty high, so that really just means high resolution, just a crisper image. So that's nice. I mean, the game sold really well, so I can imagine that they would want to, that they'd want to do this. It makes you wonder about Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Doesn't that game deserve an upgrade like this? No, because it's gonna get a Switch 2 edition, but we'll just have to wait for that. Oh, then the big one. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I like how it's still interesting to me how they're listed separately. It'd be funny if like they have like different upgrades. For some reason, there's a difference between them. But yeah, right here, what is it? It's what we wanted. It's visuals and frame rate. Thank goodness. That's the game. You know, like out of all of there's plenty of Switch games where like I'm really looking forward to playing them with better performance, but Scarlet and Violet, that's the one. That's the game right there. That's just like this should not have even launched in this state. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be surreal. Especially the DLC. The DLC ran somehow even worse than the base game. So it's going to be surreal. I mean, like, okay, here's the thing. Do we believe that it's gonna run that much better? Do we just like take it at face value? I don't know, until I get the game in my hands. Should I be making any assumptions, you know? Should I assume that this means beautiful 4K and a buttery smooth 60 FPS, or are the games coded so poorly that we could still experience some slowdown? I don't know, but I am pretty darn excited to find out. That'll certainly be some internet content, won't it? Yeah, and then there's even like a couple like screenshots from the Pokemon Korea website. They don't really like illuminate anything. It's just kind of like it's the game running at a higher resolution, so it's whatever. But I am hearing something somewhere. Something says that it's also gonna be able to display or like load in more Pokemon at once or something. I don't know where that's coming from, but that is a possibility, which would also be cool, I guess. I guess, now that I say it out loud, now that I actually take a second to think about it, I feel like there's plenty of Pokemon on I don't like, the game is already funny. It's already like, it doesn't feel very realistic. It really is just like a big open area and they're just kind of spawned in all over the place. I don't really like want more Pokemon. I feel like that'd be a little awkward, but I don't know. If they can pop in like further away from me, if they can load further, maybe that's it. Maybe that's all it's saying is it can load more at once, like load more further out. Like don't populate more of them, just, you know, more because they're not all like culled out, you know, beyond where you can, whatever, you get what I'm saying. So that's that one. That's the exciting one. Another really exciting one though, I would say Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, because Bowser's Fury, it struggled a bit. It wasn't terrible. It certainly wasn't like, you know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but it struggled. It chugged a little bit in some places, and the visuals were just so lovely that, yeah, sometimes the image could look a little bit fuzzy. I feel like this one is going to be absolutely beautiful. I mean, come on, with the open water and the giant Bowser and all the fire and the rain and the effects, just by pumping up the resolution, this is going to look super duper good. And yeah, here it confirms we're getting visuals and then frame rate, which is good. I think the whole game tries to run at a higher frame rate, but it says optimized for smoother movement on Nintendo Switch 2, including Bowser's Fury. Very good. HDR support for Bowser's Fury only. I wonder why. I don't know what goes into enabling HDR. Perhaps it's something that they have to, you know, maybe it takes a little bit of work, which is, you know, as with everything, work is time, time is money. So, I don't know, maybe they just thought, it's gonna look better for Bowser's Fury. We don't really need HDR for 3D World. Bowser's Fury has, like, the more extreme color palettes, the richer blacks, the moodier atmosphere. Maybe with 3D World, it's just so bright and colorful, kind of across the board, that they just, I don't know, it wasn't really worth it for them. I don't know. But then, yeah, game share support, up to 4 people can play. That's cool. That's really cool. Game share is cool. You know, I mean, it is, I don't want to call it generous, but I don't know. It is cool that now we can play like co-op or whatever without all having to own a copy of the game. Up to 4 people can play Super Mario 3D World. That is pretty neato. That's a good time right there. And then in Bowser's Fury, 2 people can play together with one controlling Mario, the other controlling Bowser Jr., share locally or share online via game chat. And then here's another very exciting one, naturally, Super Mario Odyssey. That game looks very good, but you know, you could tell it was running on relatively underpowered hardware even back when it launched. Best looking Mario game ever, but you could see all the, I don't know, I don't want to say cut corners. The little tricks that the game had to pull off to get it to run. You know, one thing that like every time I mention it, nobody I know can even see it when I show it to them. But like in a lot of cases, you turn the camera, and as the camera is turning, the resolution drops. Like because it's having to load in a bunch of stuff. So like it's that dynamic resolution. So pretty much anytime you're like turning the camera a bunch, it gets fuzzier. Again, I don't know. Most people don't seem to notice it, but I notice it. And there's a lot of little tricks like that in there. So I don't know. I've always wanted to see this game running at a higher resolution overall. Even when it launched, I remember like, you know, they clearly prioritized frame rate over resolution. And at that time, I think I wished that I could change it. I think I wished I had a cleaner image over the, I wasn't too fussed about frame rates. Since then, I have kind of, I don't know, but frame rate has grown more and more important to me over time, for whatever reason. I don't know. We all grow, we all change. So now I get why they made that decision in the first place, but I have, I mean, you know, Mario Odyssey, I love the game. It's probably my favorite Mario game, at least favorite 3D Mario game. One of my absolute favorite Switch games. So I have, for 8 years now, been just dying to see what the game could look like with a high resolution and frame rate. I want to see it just running at its absolute best. So I'm extremely, extremely excited to try it. I've been wanting to play it again too. I've been wanting to boot it up again. So this will be a really good opportunity to give it another go. Yeah, updates included, visuals, and HDR support. That'll look really nice. And then game share if you want to, you know, have someone control Cappy without paying for it or whatever. And then we got 2 more that are pretty darn exciting: Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom. Link's Awakening, it's a really like shiny and nice and clean looking game. And so in both cases, obviously, I am really excited to see how it looks at a really nice, sharp resolution. I feel like that's gonna look kind of incredible. You know, I like the art style and like just the overall visual style they went with. I'm a little bit of a critic of, but at the same time, it still looks good. It still looks really good, and I'm very, very excited to see how it looks. I don't know if it's going to be quite 4K or whatever, but like a higher resolution at all. It's going to look really good. And then, yeah, in the case of Link's Awakening, it had like the slight performance issues, but then obviously Echoes of Wisdom. I mean, it's another Scarlet and Violet situation where I don't know if I want to assume anything. When a game runs that poorly, like that poorly, confusingly poorly, I don't want to assume that there aren't still going to be hitches, but I hope there are. I mean, the Switch 2 is a lot more powerful. It should run perfectly. Like, it definitely should, but this is Nintendo we're talking about, so who knows? Point is, though, yeah, that's going to be a really nice one, because that game really, I mean, everybody's got a different opinion, but I felt like the frame rate in Echoes of Wisdom had a pretty dramatic impact on just the enjoyability factor of that game. It was quite a problem for me. So there you go. That's exciting. That is really exciting. Yeah, we can only hope that they roll out these updates over time. And you know, the more I've thought about it, the more I'm pretty convinced they will. Because if they released them all right now, well, they're not going to release a free update for a game that's going to get a Switch 2 edition. But if they give us all of the free update ones, but not the ones that are going to get Switch 2 editions, obviously they have now revealed which games are going to get Switch 2 editions. So it makes more sense to kind of drip feed to us over time. Assuming that they are going to give us more. They could not. It would be beyond baffling if they didn't give us more. There are so many other, I mean, every Switch game, literally every Switch game could use a performance boost. So I guess I still have to cross my fingers that we get more at all, but if we do, yeah, they'll probably just throw us 1 or 2 at a time or so. It's another thing, you know? It's another like, hey, here's the latest NSO games, here's the latest music app stuff, and here's the latest free update. So So that's fun. Well, a little less fun if like that means we're gonna get them like over the next 8 years. That like you can't play Yoshi's Crafted World with a higher frame rate until 2033. That wouldn't be fun. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. I love you, and I will see you all in June for the release of Phantom Island by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, their 27th studio album. It releases on the 13th of June, 2025, and its latest single, Grow Wings and Fly, is so good.